Oh, hello everyone. Welcome back to Adrian's Digital Basement 2 Super Mini Mail Call. This is a big package. This comes from Tommy in Norway. Tommy is the guy who runs the YouTube channel Arctic Retro out of Norway. So if you like to hear the cool Norwegian accent, check out his channel. I've been subscribed for quite a while. I first found Tommy's channel when he was building a Commodore 64 from scratch. I'm trying to figure out how to open this. There's the paper all over it. He bought one of those PCBs which are out for building up your own 64, and then he ordered all the parts and he slowly built the thing up. Maybe it was a VIC-20 he was making. I can't remember. And yeah, it's a pretty cool channel, and actually Tommy has a side channel as well where he shows sights and sounds from Norway. And I've never been to Norway, and it looks so stunningly beautiful. I think photography is one of his other hobbies. So it's pretty cool to just see how incredibly stunning the landscape is up there in Norway. Okay, let me try to open this up here. And Tommy sent me a box full of bananas. Awesome. Well, actually, I doubt that. It's a good thing that Customs didn't open this box, because they would have been like, what is this? But he actually wrote on the top here, old computers inside. So to try to alleviate any fears that a customs official might have, thinking that fruit was being sent through the mail system. Okay, he says cut open on backside. So I think that this needs to be flipped. The package is pretty heavy, so this must have cost an absolute fortune to send. I really need to get some kind of a wider angle camera lens for my cameras, because it's hard to get everything in shot when things are really big. All right, we have a letter here. All right, hey Adrian, greetings from north of Norway, above the Arctic Circle. Wow, that is so freaking cool. Anyways, we are two friends that really like your content, and we have small retro computer and electronics channels ourselves. Inside the box, you'll find a couple interesting things you might use in your channels. As we discussed on Discord, a Macintosh Plus analog board not working, and since I, Tommy, who wrote this letter here, don't have experienced such a thing, I was wondering if you could check it out and find out what's wrong with it. No output voltage to the main board. It's a challenge for you. Check out the photos on the next page. I would really like this Mac Plus with hyperdrive to be working again. There's a Dragon 32 computer with a PSU and a game card. Well, how cool is that? The state of this machine is unknown. PSU is 220 volts, of course, so you'll have to find a replacement. There's also a Laser 200 computer. This machine powers on, has a video output, but it's just garbled graphics. We trust you can fix it. It's quite a simple Z80 machine. It needs a standard 9-volt power supply with center positive barrel jack, some cards with photos from here. Ooh, I can't wait to look at that. And local goodies from the Arctic/Norway. The dry fish is a snack here. It's clean and sustainable product of codfish dried outdoors in the clean Arctic air. It's very healthy, but we understand if you don't like it. It's the same stuff that the infamous lutefisk comes from. Dundersalt. Do you dare try them? They're very good. And then there's something called I can't pronounce Norwegian. I'm not even gonna try. I'm sorry, Tommy. I'm gonna completely ruin your language. I'm bad enough with German, but Norwegian, I just know. Okay, so this letter's from Tommy and Kjell, Kjell? KOJRO Retro Innovation is quite a new channel. That's Kjell's channel, and Arctic Retro, which is Tommy's channel, has been around quite a while. So again, thanks a lot for making all these great videos. We learn a lot and enjoy every bit of it. Keep them coming. Best regards from Kjell and Tommy. I'll put their links to the two channels in the description, so check them out. All right, so there is the picture of the Mac Plus that this analog board that's in here came out of, and it's one of the types with a hyperdrive inside, which I think is like an internal hard drive module. Now, one of the problems is I won't be able to even attempt to fix this because I don't have 220 volts. Oh, actually, look though, Tommy did send a picture here of the board, and it looks like there's a jumper that allows you to run it off 120 volts. That's actually pretty typical. It's like a doubler circuit that basically takes the 120 volts here and doubles it to 240 and then goes into the power supply. BBC Micro is the same thing. Here's a photo of where Tommy and Kjell live, way up there in the top of Norway. How amazing is that? Look at this, here's the UK, so it's England and Scotland, and way north of Scotland, like Tommy is so much further north than anything here. And Finland is down there, I mean, absolutely stunning. It's gotta be so nice. There are the place names, Bode, or I mean, I don't know how to pronounce the O with a line through it, and Sortland. All right, so let's take a look inside the box here. All right, so we got some sweets here. So this is obviously that fish snack that Tommy was talking about. Now, my problem is I can't really eat fish. I'm not allergic to it, but it does not suit me at all. So I'm gonna need to have a friend try this who likes to eat fish, and then I will give the report of whether he likes it or not. But I love the packaging here. Long time no see. That is super hilarious. It looks pretty good, actually. I mean, this is sort of like beef jerky, I assume, but it's the fish version of it. I'm sure growing up in Norway, pretty much 100% of people love fish and probably would love this snack as well. But me, I don't know. It's just weird. I kind of grew up, I don't know why I don't actually like fish. My whole family does. And as a kid, my mother was always annoyed. She had to make separate food for me because I just really didn't like the fish. Something about the taste, it just doesn't sit well with me. All right, this is the next thing here, Dunder salts. And I am scared. I'm very scared. I will cut this open and try it. Somehow I have a feeling these are like a licorice flavor with a high level of salt on them. They actually smell pretty good. Let's see how this tastes. No, oh my God. Whoa. Yeah, Tommy, no, that's way too strong. I don't even know how to describe that. It's very, very salty. Looks like on the ingredients, the first thing is sugar though. So that's interesting. So they're obviously very sugary and salty. Ooh. Usually when I get stuff from viewers that is very different than what we're used to here in the US, I always get my friends to try it and let me know what they think. Most of the time, they have a similar reaction to me though. We're just not used to those flavors, the strongness of it. So yeah. All right, so this is kind of cool. He didn't mention this in the letter. This is like a PCB here for an EPROM, 512, a couple TTL chips made by PCB Way. I'll have to go look this up, but I assume this is Donkey Kong Arcade. So this would be where the 8-bit dance party comes from. All right, next up we have Norwegian chocolate. I am positive that this is gonna be amazing. I'm not gonna open this right now. Oh, it's made by Mondelez, which of course is like craft food. That's just their ridiculous rebranding. So yeah, American company obviously bought up this Norwegian company at some point or somehow through conglomerations or mergers and acquisitions. I am sure this is absolutely delicious. Okay, we have a little bag with some postcards or like pictures. These might be photos that Tommy took, I don't know, but look at that, look at that. Now this is a long exposure because the Northern Lights, I mean, I have never seen them looking like this before. I mean, I'm from Canada and I've seen the Northern Lights before. In fact, sometimes the Northern Lights actually make their way all the way down here to Portland. It has happened, but they don't look that incredibly bright because you can tell this is nighttime. So the long exposure makes it look brighter than it is, but it's still a sight to behold. They're like curtains in the sky and they're just incredible. And this looks incredible. Oh, look at that. So this is obviously where Tommy lives here, home of Arctic Retro. Look at that place. Look, it's just incredible. So incredible looking. And then here's where KOJRO Retro Enterprises, so Kjell lives here in Sortland. I wonder if this is called Sortland because it's a big port for like shipping and stuff, and they call it Sortland because you sort the shipping containers. That looks pretty awesome as well. It's so cool to be right on the water. Here's the world's strongest tidal currents. Look at that incredible bridge. Wow. Just so stunning. The water, the color, it's just incredible. All right, and there we go. Nothing on the back there. All right, so let's dig into this package here. The computers and other stuff is in here. All right, here is the Macintosh Plus or analog board from those old machines. Looks like it's in okay shape. Unfortunately, luckily it survived because definitely the flyback can get damaged. You know, it can get squished right here where the high voltage anode comes out. Oh, actually this did get damaged here. So this is the brightness knob. It should be facing that direction. When we look here right off the bat, we see a couple issues. There's a giant reefa cap there. That would need to go. I love that the battery holder is red. I mean, I've never seen that. That must have been a common thing in 220 volt countries, but in the US, I worked on plenty of Macintoshes and I've never seen this being red. It's always just black and boring, really. What else is there to say about this? Well, there's gonna have to be a troubleshooting video in the future to see if I can get this thing working. The architecture of this is relatively run-of-the-mill. It's like a switch mode power supply that generates the 12 and the 5 volts that the computer needs. And then that 12 volts, I'm pretty sure it's the 12 volts, runs the CRT section of the board. One thing that is extra on this is, see this connector here? This is basically to go to the hyperdrive board that is inside the machine. There's another power supply in there, and this is soldered right onto the main switch here and onto one part of this little inductor there. I think that's probably an inductor. So yeah, it's always kind of sketchy, but if this board's not working, I don't think it's anything to do with this. It'll be some failure on this board here. All right, let's keep going in here. So this is the Laser 200. I've never seen a Laser 200. Of course, I've shown laser machines on the channel before. There it is, the Laser Color Computer 200. And look, color is written in American spelling as well, so that's fascinating. It's got a chiclet keyboard, very much like the ZX Spectrum. Not working, garbled screen. Input is center positive. Take a look at the colors here. Green, yellow, blue, red, buff, cyan, magenta, and orange. How much do you want to bet it uses the same video circuitry chip, the video chip, from the TI-99 and also MSX computers? Pretty sure that's going to be the case because that buff color really gives that away. What's interesting is this very much seems like they were trying to emulate the ZX Spectrum, because look at these keys here, return, then. I wonder if you can type out the full basic commands, or you push G and it puts go to, which is like the ZX Spectrum, and also the Sinclairs like that. On the back, it's Video Technologies, made in Hong Kong. Actually, look at this. Channel 3 and 4? Is this like an NTSC machine? Channel 3 and 4. I mean, I don't know. What are the channels like in Norway? Would it be channel 3 and 4? That's very much the US. But okay, pretty cool. This is neat. Very cool little computer. Really nice cosmetic condition too. It's perfect. All right, and next up is the Dragon 32. And I know people on YouTube have shown these computers before. So the Dragon 32, I have never seen one in person, but this was sold in the US. It was made by a company in Wales, if I recall, watching RMC. It has the same exact architecture inside as the Coco 2, the TRS-80 color computer and the Color Computer 2. It's a Motorola chipset, so it's basically right out of the textbook of how to design a computer using that chipset. And I think after watching plenty of videos on this machine, it has been determined that this absolutely is a TRS-80 color computer clone with some slight differences, right? Because you can't just directly run the software, well, very minor changes, but they lifted way too much for it to be coincidence, including the entire layout of the keyboard, for instance, is exactly the same, and there are many other things that are super similar. This will, of course, be the PAL version of the machine, unlike the ones that were sold in the US that were NTSC. Monitor connection, supply, use a 9-pin, interesting. The guys included a cartridge for it here, Astro Blast for the Dragon 32. And then here's the power supply. This thing looks homemade. It's in a metal box. I guess it's not though, but what? This is such a strange looking power supply. It's so homemade looking. He takes 220 mains there, but outputs 8.5 volts AC and 14 volts AC, 2 by 14 volts AC. So that means that this machine has its own power supply inside. which will be converting the AC input to the DC rails that are needed for this thing, which almost certainly probably has 5 volts, 12 volts, and minus 5 volts. So it might well be that the easiest thing for me to do is to just replace the internal power supply. Oh, look at that. Made in Great Britain there. Interesting. Doesn't even say made in Wales. Made in Great Britain. Pretty impressive how nice the keyboard is compared to the one on the TRS-80 KOJRO though. Especially the first one had a really terrible keyboard. The second one was a little bit better, but even that was terrible. And then they made a revision of the second KOJRO that had a better keyboard. But this whole machine feels a little bit more substantial than the KOJRO, I have to say. The KOJRO is just really cheap feeling. Okay, so the guys have sent in some really cool things. I think there won't be time in this video to definitely test them all. There'll have to be some troubleshooting videos in the future for this power supply board and the Dragon 32. But why don't we open up this Laser 200 and at least take a look on the inside, because I'm curious. I just don't know anything about this machine. It's just got a really spiffy design. Very neat. Let's see, this is obviously a low-cost computer. Let's just pop this open. Let's see how we can open this thing up. I bet you it's got a membrane keyboard connection, so I have to be careful. I need to figure out how to release the keyboard connection. No, it's soldered together. Horrible. At least this is all metal, and it would be easy to replace this. Well, I don't know how easy it'd be to solder here, but I could put wires there. That is sucky. Oh, and everything is soldered together on here. I just want to get the PCB out of the case. Now there's a couple screws that look like they screw into the case, and they have this glue in them. It's like they're warranty void, I guess. So I gotta dig that out a little bit. Low cost construction is the name of the game with this machine for sure. Let's see if I can figure out how this comes out. I just don't see any more screws. Ah, there's some right there, hidden. Okay, so what's happening now is this RF shield on the bottom, it's actually adhered onto the case. So I think that's what, there's adhesive underneath it. So I think that's holding on the whole computer. And out with the power switch, which seems like that is soldered on. There we go, the machine is free. All right, well, wow, check out that construction. I wonder what that's all about right there. Oh, it's a speaker. Wow, look at this. Piezoelectric speaker, beep speaker. The cheapest possible thing. Look at this wiring, what the? There's the switch for the RF modulator. I can't believe the construction of this thing. It is so cheap. Built down to a cost. Built down to a very low cost. That's what this thing is all about. All right, now I can at least put this down. Well, even opening this thing up, that is not gratifying. There is not a lot of visibility into what's inside here. Let's pop this little plastic cover off here. So there's a Z80 processor there. It's an SIS one. I see down there's like a static RAM chip, probably like a 2K one. Here's a 40-pin dip right here, which is almost certainly the video chip. But, oh, look at all this. What the heck? All right, so since this is quite a bit more work than I thought to take apart, what I'm gonna do is just power this up off the bench supply. It has a 5-volt regulator right here, so obviously this doesn't run on anything but 5 volts internally. And it has this large heatsink here because it's dissipating a bunch of heat. It's very much like the ZX Spectrum in that regard. So a good mod for this computer, if it worked, would be to just give it 5 volts and remove the regulator and this heatsink, and it actually would run nice and cool. This metal here is RF shielding, and probably what this is here is the video output circuitry. Okay, I have the bench supply ready to go. 9 volts, definitely center positive there, DC it says. Okay, I have 8.12 volts on the power supply. It should be good enough, just needs to be a couple volts above 5 volts. And it's off right now, so let's turn this on. I'm just gonna double check the voltage regulator. we're current limiting, okay? So that's what's happening there. It was like only seeing 3 point something volts. All right, let's try that again when I turn this on. All right, we got 5 volts. All right, I have the retro tank connected to the monitor here, so let's turn that on. Are we getting a signal? Yes. All right, so there it is, color. And you know what's interesting is looking at the color of the text and everything, this is using the Motorola chipset from the Dragon and the TI for the video output. Absolutely it is. So this computer is clearly not running though. Look at that. Yep. Just power cycling it off and on, and we're getting different modes. It's all very shimmery. But that font and that color scheme with the green text is very unmistakable. All right, so just like Tommy said, we have nothing on the screen, just garbled text. And you know, now that I think about this, is this thing more like that Tandy MC10? Is that the name of that thing? It's like a mini Tandy Coco computer that has like 4K of RAM and, you know, very similar graphics and capability to the regular Coco. I wonder if that's the case. This is so shimmery, the text. What I don't know is if this is outputting PAL or NTSC. All right, well, I think that's gonna be it for this video. There's definitely a deeper troubleshooting session in store for this machine, and of course the Dragon as well. I'm pretty sure that Tommy said this was not working as well, so we'll definitely have to look into that. And then also a future troubleshooting video on this Macintosh Plus analog board. So thank you very much, Tommy and Kjell, for sending in all this cool stuff from way up in North Norway. There'll be future videos on this stuff. And of course, don't forget to check out their channels. I'll put the links in the description below. I would also like to thank my patrons. It really means a lot to me, all the support I've been getting from Patreon. It absolutely warms my heart. Their names are scrolling up the side of the screen. And if you want to see your name there on the side, you can sign up in the link below. And comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff, the YouTube stuff. And I guess that's going to be that. So stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.